CIA created a vampire. Philippines, 1950s. Story 2. An empire built on a dragon. Ancient China. Story 3. A country that uses myths today. North Korea, now. I'm going to be honest with you. My channel wasn't getting views. I was putting out folklore videos every week. Real stories, properly researched, and nothing. So I did something I probably should have done earlier. I asked an AI, specifically Claude, to help me find real, documented, historically verified scary facts that most people have never heard of. Not made up stuff, not clickbait, real events, real documents, real history, and what it found genuinely unsettled me. So here's what I asked. I told the AI, find me stories where governments actually use ghost stories and folklore as weapons to control people. And I want them verified, not just internet rumors. It came back with 3 stories, and I fact-checked all of them. Every single one is real. Let's go through them. The CIA created a vampire. Philippines, 1950s. The first story the AI flagged and told me to lead with was this one, and once I verified it, I understood why. It's 1950. The Philippines is in crisis. A communist guerrilla army called the Huks has taken to the jungle, and they are winning. The US government is worried, so they send in a CIA operative named Edward Lansdale. Lansdale wasn't a soldier in the traditional sense. He was a former advertising man. He understood psychology. He understood belief. And when he studied Filipino culture, he found the Aswang. The Aswang is one of the most feared creatures in Philippine folklore. A shape-shifting demon, part vampire, part monster, said to drain the blood of the living at night. In rural communities, this wasn't just a story. People genuinely believed it existed. Lansdale saw an opportunity. His team quietly spread a rumor through villages near Hook Camp that a Aswang had been spotted on the hill where the rebels were based. They let that rumor travel. Then, on the 3rd night, a CIA squad ambushed the trail. They waited for a Hook patrol. When the last soldier fell behind his group, they took him, punctured his neck, 2 holes, drained his body of blood, placed the corpse back on the trail. By the next morning, the camp was abandoned. No battle, no gunfire, just a body that looked exactly like what they feared most. This is documented. Lansdale wrote about it himself in his own autobiography. In the midst of wars, it's been covered by How Stuff Works, military history journals, and multiple intelligence researchers. When the AI told me this, my first reaction was, that cannot be real. But it is. Story 2. An empire built on a dragon. Ancient China. The second story goes much further back. Ancient China. An empire that lasted for thousands of years, controlling more people than any other civilization on Earth at the time. How did they maintain that control? A myth. A peasant named Liu Bang seized power and became the first emperor of the Han Dynasty. But he had a problem. He wasn't born into royalty. He had no divine right, so he invented one. He claimed his mother had encountered a dragon by a lake. That he, Liu Bang, was the product of that divine meeting, the son of a dragon. From that point, Every Chinese emperor for centuries called himself the heavenly son of the true dragon, wore dragon robes, sat on dragon thrones, and eventually, by law, no one else was allowed to use the dragon symbol. Not on your clothes, not in your home, not anywhere. To use the dragon was to claim you were divine, and that was punishable by imprisonment. An entire civilization kept in order by a story one man told about his own birth. Story 3. The country that uses myths today, North Korea. Now here's the one that should bother you the most, because this is an ancient history. North Korea actively uses supernatural mythology to control its population right now. When Kim Jong-il died in 2011, state media reported that a snowstorm stopped mid-blizzard, that the sky above a sacred mountain turned red, that the ice on a famous lake cracked and groaned in mourning. Presented not as poetry, as fact, broadcast on national television to a population with no internet, no outside news, no way to question it. And in 2012, North Korea announced they had discovered a unicorn lair, the lair of a divine creature said to have been ridden by an ancient Korean king, located beneath the capital city, Pyongyang. The point: to claim Pyongyang as the sacred birthplace of all Korean civilization. To argue that North Korea, not South Korea, was the true, legitimate Korean nation. A unicorn used as a geopolitical argument. It sounds like it can't be real. It is completely real. So here's what struck me after going through all of this. The CIA in the 1950s, Chinese emperors thousands of years ago, North Korea today, all of them found the same thing. You don't need walls to control people. You need stories. Scary ones, divine ones, ones that make certain questions feel dangerous to even ask. Scholars who study folklore have pointed this out for years, that ghost stories and legends have always been a tool of social control, to keep people afraid, to keep people obedient. The monsters change across cultures and centuries. The method never does. So the next time someone tells you a ghost story, whether it comes from an ancient village, a government broadcast, or something your parents whispered to you as a child, ask yourself one thing: who told it first? And what did they want you to do? Because sometimes the most dangerous thing in the story isn't the monster, it's the one who invented it. Now you might be wondering, okay, so governments use ghost stories as weapons. What does that mean for me? What would I actually do if I found myself in one of these situations? Honestly, if I was living in the Philippines in 1950, in a rural village, and I found a drained body on the trail with 2 holes in its neck, I would leave immediately, no questions asked. And that's exactly the point. That's what Lansdale understood that most military strategists didn't. You don't fight what you can't see. You don't argue with what you believe in your bones to be real. The scary truth is, if I had grown up in that culture, with those beliefs, with no outside information to challenge them, I probably would have believed it too. And that's not weakness, that's just being human. Now if I was in North Korea, born into that system, never knowing anything else, I think about that a lot actually, because the people there aren't stupid. They're isolated. There's a difference. The question I'd ask myself in that situation, and the question I think all of us should ask, is this: What stories have I been told, that I've never once thought to question? Because every culture has them. Every government has them. Every family has them. The monsters are just different. That's the real folklore lesson here. Not just that governments use these stories, but that it worked on smart people, brave people, people just like us. Think about that. If this video made you think differently about the stories you've been told your whole life, drop a comment below. I genuinely want to know which story hit you the hardest. Was it the CIA vampire, the Dragon Emperor, or North Korea using a unicorn to win a political argument? Let me know. And if you're new here, this is what this channel is about. Not just telling you scary stories, but finding the real ones, the verified ones, the ones that are somehow more unsettling because they're true. If that's something you want more of, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps more than you know, especially for a small channel still finding its feet. And if you like this video, the like button takes literally 2 seconds, and it tells YouTube to show this to more people who enjoy it. That's how we grow this thing together. Next time, a creature that independently appeared in both ancient Japan and ancient Mexico. No shared history, no contact between the two civilizations. Same exact monster. How is that possible? See you then.